What's going on YouTube? James Polk here, about to showcase you guys the Rose Dragon Turbo deck profile. And so first things first, before we go straight to the profile, a quick aforementioned about what's going on in April is that I know for the fact that White Rose Dragon and Aromatherapy Jasmine, along with the new cards coming out of the box in April. So once I get my hands on those, I'm going to re-edit the Rose Dragon Turbo deck profile. But for now, I'll just stick with whatever. It's budget optional and friendly. So for starters, 3 Red Rose Dragons. They are one of the recent cards from Sisters of the Rose. It is a level 3 Dark Dragon Tuner with 1,000 attack and 1,800 defense. So Dragon Tuner with 1,000 attack. So it's pretty nice for card of consonance target. And its effect is that if it's sent to the graveyard just because of a synchro summon, it lets you special 1 Rose Dragon from your hand or deck except Red Rose. Then, if it was sent to the graveyard just because of a synchro summon of a plant type monster or Black Rose Dragon, it also lets you add 1 Frozen Rose or Blooming of the Darkest Rose from your deck to your hand. And both of those effects are once per turn. So, again, it's pretty nice that you have something as like a starter card for a card of consonance target. And then 2, Dark Rose Fairy. During testing, anyone can do 1, 2, or 3 copies, but I find 2 is way better. Like, you actually don't want to clog in a deck knowing that if you have a bad hand involving the Dark Rose Fairy, you can have something like Baba Boon in this main deck to have your hand fixed so that you are guaranteed to restack off Dark Rose Fairy throughout the middle of this grind game situation. So Dark Rose Fairy is a level 2 Dark Fairy with 800 attack and 1,000 defense, and its effect is that if a tuner or tuners is special summoned except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then her graveyard effect lets you stack either on top or bottom of the deck by sending 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard. So you are guaranteed to stack Dark Rose Fairy, so that way you would or wouldn't be able to draw her as like the next turn. And then if you have like more resources for any of the leftover tuners, you can still combo off and just be able to extend your plays. And then 1 Blue Rose Dragon. That's your recursion for the Rose Dragons. When it gets destroyed and it gets sent to the graveyard, it doesn't matter how. And then 3 Lone Fire Blossoms. You have to play it. It's part of the plant deck. And before April, when the box comes out, I guarantee you that Lone Fire has to be either limited or banned anytime soon, because this is the heart and soul of the deck. And if you're playing less than 3, then there's that's no point. So, and then 3 Baba Boons. This card is literally insane, because this card lets you fix brick hands and you'll be able to play out the grind game essentially. And when it comes to in terms of bad hands, to have your hand fixed, you can also combo it off with Fragrant Storm so that you are guaranteed to special summon 2 more of these and able to draw out more cards. And then 2 Orpheus Scorpio, 1 Darling Tonia Cobra. And about Scorpio, this is another one of those guaranteed cards that sooner or later that needs to be hit on the list. Hopefully, if they don't do anything by the time the new box comes out. And then for the rest of the one-ups, Glow Bulb, Spore, Rose Lover, World Carrot Weight Champion, 1 Destrudo. The only particular reason just only running 1, because seeing too many of these would actually like clogging this deck. But at the same time, if you somehow still manage to keep up with your resources, Then you can also send Destrudo off from Card of Consonance for a little draw power, or you can just special him off from Saryuja without ever having to pay half of your life points, which is really, really strong. And then to top things off, you can just synchro into something like somewhere between 4 through 7 at the very most, but mainly 7s at most. But if you decide to do it off from Skull Dread, then be sure to have like this and a level 1 for Beals or any other level 8 synchro plays and all that. And then to affect Valor. And then for the spells, Foolish, Monster Reborn, 1-for-1, Soul Charge. This card should be banned because if anyone knows how good Soul Charge is, it's extremely broke. Super Poly. This card should have not come back, knowing that Darling Tonia Cobra can now search off Super Poly by any means. And then 1 Symbol of Heritage. And then 1 Black Garden. Just only 1. You don't want to draw too many of it. Like, you don't actually want to clog in this deck, but at the same time, Garden of the Rose Maiden can help you search it out or recur it. So that way you can keep on spamming out tokens and then just keep on comboing it off as like the next turn. And then 1 Frozen Rose. Frozen Rose is one of the newest cards from Sisters of the Rose. And its effect states that send 1 face-up monster you control to the graveyard and apply this effect depending on the type that it has. If it's a plant type monster, during the end phase of this turn, draw 2, then discard 1. Nice. And then the non-plant monster, just search out a level 4 or lower plant monster from your deck to your hand. And again, Frozen Rose is a really, really strong quick play, which is the good part. So that way they don't have to just worry about, like, even if your opponent ends up ashing too early, which is really, really strong, then you should be in good position. 3 Fragrant Storm. You had to play the deck, so that way, like, if you combo this off with Baba Boon, drawing cards can guarantee you lots of pluses and card advantage. 1 Card of Consonance. That's for the Red Rose Dragon and the Destrudo. 1 Super Solar Nutrient. The card is pretty much busted because if you, in case you're having a bad hand, or just like if you somehow opened up at least a level 1 in your hand and you don't know what to do with it, you can just send off Rose Lover with Foolish Burial to special summon something like a Glow Bulb or Spore, or just 1-for-1, one of the level 1 plant tuners, so that way you wouldn't be able to waste a normal summon. So you can turn the level 1s into Lone Fire Blossoms, and then you can just keep on extend your plays from there. Miracle Fertilizer, the card's broke, but essentially that's like a normal summon thing. And in my prediction, the card needs to be either limited or banned by the time April comes up. 2 Instant Fusion, and then 2 Mind Controls. And then extra deck, 2 Garden Rose Maiden. Garden Rose Maiden is one of the newest plant synchro monsters in Sisters of the Rose. And she is a level 5 dark plant synchro with 1600 attack and 2400 defense. And its effect is that if this card is special summoned, doesn't matter how, so that means by synchro summon, bringing it back from the graveyard, anything that utilizes its special summon methods. She lets you add 1 Black Garden from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then her other effect is that, like, if you're playing like a Dragon Synchro variant, she also lets you banish her to bring back any Rose Dragon monster, no matter what it is, or a Dragon Synchro monster, no matter what it is. It gets special summoned, and each of those effects are once per turn. Oh, and keep in mind, along with the extra deck, it's extremely tight as well, because I originally wanted to play a little something budget friendly, but at the same time, there's like no space for this extra deck. So, 2 Black Rose, and I already know for that fact that I don't have the today's meta cards like Crystal Wing or anything else that lets me utilize this, like having negate boards. So I'm sticking with the current extra deck as of at the moment until April. So 2 Black Rose, it's Rose Dragons, Thousand Eyes Restrict for instant fusion, Carbonella Warrior for instant fusion, Predator Plant Drago Stapelia, that's for the Super Poly, and then Mud Dragon, that is for instant fusion or Super Poly as of late game of sorts. And then Formula, Glow Up Bulb or Spore with the level 1 plant tuners, along with Rose Lover to make it as a level 2. And then Armory Arm. Armory Arm can be a niche tech of sorts because you can equip it to your opponent's monster so that like you can just have the chance to crash onto the equipped monster, and then they end up taking the rest of the damage after the monster of mine is being destroyed. So, which is really strong. Naturia Beast, that's Glow Up Bulb and Carbonella Warrior as a turn 1. Really strong against Sky Strikers. F.A. Dawn Trickster, pretty good with the Spell Trap Negates. And then I optimize into settling playing with Beals, knowing that how strong True Dracos really are, unless if they somehow secretly tech cards to deal with Beals and sending it to the graveyard. I could just have, like in a later game, have Garden Rose Maiden to banish it, and then bring the Beals back so that way he can just keep on swinging monsters. And then the links are Summon Sorceress and Sarisia. Again, extra deck is too tight, and I'm playing it like a budget-friendly deck of sorts. So, and also a huge shout out to Marcus Wade 2008 for bringing in the Rose Dragon Turbo cards, because knowing that upon the box release, I happened to help him getting the rest of the Harpy stuff, so that way we could just trade off the Harpy stuff for the Rose Dragon Turbos. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. So in April, I will be surely get my hands on the Jasmine Link monster along with the White Rose Dragon, or wherever else is going to come, wherever else or whenever it's going to come out. And until then, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.